したいとで読み直しているで読み直しているだけがで読み直しているで読み直してで読み直しているで読み直しているで読み直しているキスしたいとで読み直しているで読み直しているだけがで読み直しているしたいとで読み直しているで読み直しているだけがで読み直しているで読み直してで読み直しているで読み直しているで読み直しているキスしたいとで読み直しているで読み直しているだけがで読み直しているで読み直している
Good morning, Braxton. I'm sorry. I was scrambling because I was looking for my book that I read. Well, the book that I listened to, the wow, where do you see your orders? The Compound Effect. It's in my mailbox. Oh man. Okay, I listened to a book last week and I bought it. I bought the physical copy and I just realized that I never got it and it's cuz it's in my mailbox. So, that's why. That's why I was late. I was looking for a book that I didn't know where it was. I went through a lot of content last week. I don't know what I'm going to do today. I have the sleep that I was going to talk about last week. That's old news. That's old news. But that's all I got. So I think I'm going to try to go through that and try to keep it to that. But I went through The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, who, by the way, he narrated his own book, and his voice is like way too. He's like, I don't like how he animates his voice. I don't. But that was a recommendation by Shy Gamer Girl, and then I also read Rich Dad Poor Dad for the 8th time by Robert Kiyosaki. And I mean, it's just like a how to get rich, how to be wealthy, all of the life advice from him, a multimillionaire, if not a billionaire. I don't really know much about him, but I love the book. So I went through a lot of content, and I want to get through all of it so that all of my episodes are kind of up to date. But I don't know. We're just gonna go for it today. Fanny, haha, funny how the stream title is "Getting Quality Sleep When I Just Stayed Up to Buy Some Shoes." Yeah, I know. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to remind you about how to get sleep, how to get good sleep. I hope you got the shoes that you were looking for, though. I want to say first and foremost, August 21st, I'm doing a concert in my backyard, and I don't know if the weather's going to be like it is now, super rainy and stormy, or if it's going to be pristine, but I'm hoping, our fingers are crossed, that it's going to be really good weather. We'll figure that out as we go, as we get there. And then in other news, I'm here Monday mornings, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, live on Twitch, live on YouTube and Facebook, and on Buzzsprout. I don't know if I'm if Streamlabs has their own host, but I'm live on a lot of places. So if you're listening to the podcast after Monday and you want to listen to it live and you want to make comments, you know where to find me. YouTube at Caden Kelly. All of my social media should have links to where to find the podcast, but Twitch is at Alpha Seltzer, ALFASELTZER. That's my gamer name because I'm super creative. So without any further ado, I'm going to take a drink and we're going to talk about Sleep by Andrew Huberman. There's a lot of content in here, but it was really good. Yeah, 1 second. Oh, yes. I hate this. I got to get through this protein powder. It's just Walmart Muscle Milk protein powder does not cut it for me. Hey, good morning, Shy Gamer Girl 8. Teehee. The Teehee, whatever you started, the Teehee trendsetter. Okay, there's a recurring theme about sleep that is really like well, for those of you who don't know, Andrew Huberman is a professor at Stanford. He does podcasts on his own called the Huberman Lab, and he's a neuroscientist or whatever. And he talks about all of his discoveries and whatever. I'll read a little bit of his bio on Spotify. The Huberman Lab podcast discusses neuroscience, how our brain and its connections with the organs of our body controls our perceptions, our behaviors, and our health. So the very, very beginning of his when he started was this series on sleep. There's 4 episodes, 5 episodes of sleep. And yeah, then he goes on later episodes talk about optimizing your brain with science-based tools, control pain, master stress, how food and nutrition controls our mood. A lot of really good episodes. I haven't listened to most of them. The sleep one I just focused on. But I'm fascinated by all of this. If you're here listening to why I'm talking about getting sleep, then you're probably my friends who don't get any sleep. Team No Sleep. Thanks, H Langston 50. Sleep is important to me just because I know that I listen to Joe Rogan with all of the doctors that he has, and I listen to guys like Andrew Huberman talk about how important sleep is for optimal health. And I don't want to be. I've said before, if I could live my entire life off of no sleep, I totally would. But I have this mentality right now of trying to optimize all aspects of my life, and sleep is pretty much the foundation to all of your health, to all health. So sleep is essential, and getting quality sleep and rest translates to all other aspects of your health, your physical health, mental health, long-term health. So I envy those that can get very little sleep, like everyone else in the chat. They can stay up late playing games and doing things that they want, and then wake up early and get right to work and not feel drowsy, or maybe they do and maybe they just don't talk about it. But I can't sleep. I can't get little hours of sleep and operate well the next day. Maybe I can do it once in a blue moon, maybe twice in a week, but and maybe it's just me being a bitch, but I feel like I can't operate without at least, 6 hours minimum. But if I get 6 hours consistently, I start to feel groggy, and it gets hard to wake up, and I just am a pansy. So, but when I listen to guys like this or read stuff about sleep, they say that everyone's different, and some people can operate off of 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day and feel fine, and some people need 8 or 9 or 10 hours. If anyone listened to or read Green Light by Matthew McConaughey, he talks about how he has a podcast on Rogan too. He feels he needs, he either said 9.5 or 8.5 hours of sleep every night, regardless, no matter what he's doing, regardless of what projects he's working on or movies or whatever. 8.5 or 9.5 hours, which is a lot of hours. If you want to be super productive, I mean, it's just extra time out of your day and out of your night to be working or to be focusing on other things. H. Langston, I feel extremely drowsy, but Shy Gamer Girl on late is my kryptonite. Yeah, you feel extremely drowsy. Yeah, I just don't like to feel drowsy. I love to wake up and feel energized. Go to the gym and start working. I feel focused when I wake up. I have to plan out my day and talk to a bunch of my customers, my stops before I even get there. And if I wake up, or if I'm tired, I'll sleep in and I'll skip that, and then my day sucks. I don't know. I'm kind of a worrywart about it, so I try to get as best sleep as I can. So let me talk about this podcast. There were 3 episodes on sleep. The whole first episode 2 of the Huberman Lab podcast, the episode is called Master Your Sleep and Be More Alert When Awake. And the bottom line, really the whole episode was about waking up and getting sunlight in your eyes, having sunlight in your eyes throughout the entire day, and then when the sun goes down or when you are ready to go to sleep, get zero light in your eyes. And he talked about that for an hour and a half. That's like the whole premise of sleep. Our biology is designed to get sunlight in our eyes when we wake up to restart our circadian rhythm, our internal clock. All of our cells have an internal clock that operate off of sunlight. He kind of talks about how our eyes are just an extension of our brain, right? They just over however long of evolution, our brains started to protrude these balls of these masses to absorb light. And he gives an example about snakes, how snakes they receive light from a hole on the top of their head, and that's how they set their circadian rhythms. Every animal has the circadian rhythm or their internal clock. They need light to start it, and then when the sun goes, it's wild. And he talks about all of this. There's functions in our body that can recognize a rising sun versus an afternoon sun, and then a setting sun. So a rising sun will activate our circadian rhythm or reset it. The afternoon sun keeps us awake, and then when our eyes see the setting sun, the setting sunlight, it starts to there's chemicals that are released in our body. Melatonin is released in our bodies. Yeah. I got a whole bunch of notes, but that's the premise. That was the whole thing of episode 2. Wake up, go outside, get direct sunlight in your eyes. Wake up. The closer you get to sunrise, the better. But you have a couple hour window from sunrise to get the appropriate, like the kind of sunlight that you want in your eyes. He says after about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, depending where you're at, once the sun is up a certain, however high in the sky, it won't reset your clock properly. It makes sense too. Biologically we've lived in jungles and in deserts and forests and whatever. We've just lived outside. When we talk about primal humans, we lived outside, and so we didn't have as much protection or sunlight blockage like we do now, being inside houses or being inside buildings for work. He even said driving in your car, when you could see sunlight through your window, but the lux is how people measure how much sunlight is available, and that's what we get in our eyes is lux, Lux. And when you're in your car, when you're looking out a window in a building, that lux is cut in half. So it's waking up and looking at your window isn't near as good as going outside and getting direct sunlight in your eyes. So the whole point of getting good restful sleep is waking up, checking out the sun in the morning outside I've been doing it for the last couple weeks. About a couple weeks, and I'll go outside for about 5 minutes. I'll start scheduling my day, but I'll do it outside now instead of in bed or at the kitchen table. I'll sit outside. I'll start filling my van with water, and then I'll go inside, and then I'll leave the door open. I drive to the gym with the window down. Yeah, things like this. I'm trying to get as much sunlight in my eyes as possible, and I've made an effort to go outside in the evening time while the sun is setting to get the evening light, so that my melatonin is released and whatever, all these chemicals, this chemical process is happening to help my body go to sleep. And then from then on, no light in your eyes, no artificial light of any kind. He talks about appropriate kinds of light that you can get in your eyes that that won't damage or won't stop your clock, but basically after you get to see the evening sun, you want no light in your eyes. He talks about the difference between blue light and red light, how blue light is a sharper light, that the lux that comes from the sun. There's massive amounts of it. And red light is things like campfires, firelight, having light from fires in your house, like a fireplace or candles, or really low dimmed red light in your house in the evening time isn't terrible for you, but ideally no light after sunset for optimal sleep, body function schedule, whatever. So yeah, he says light received from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. suppresses dopamine production. So there you go, fellas. Every minute of gaming you put in after 11 p.m. suppresses dopamine production for the next day. It halts these processes in your body, just getting so much light from screens and from your overhead lights when your body is trying to wind down, but it's focused, or it's trying to wind down, but it's getting so much light. So that was the whole first episode. And the third episode was talking about the chemical processes and things like this. The only note I made from that episode was light is the trigger of our circadian rhythm and body temperature is the effector. Yes, body temperature. Body temperature was is a huge part of sleep. There were takes notes to log off. Yes, Hey Moon says takes notes to log off at 11 p.m. Yeah, I think being in bed and with it's just the negative mental impacts that just having a TV in your bedroom has, or having your cell phone in your room when you're laying down and your body's relaxed and the melatonin is being released, and then you're looking at screens and your body. Anyway, no screens, and there's a whole bunch of notes and tips that he gives to get really good sleep. So I totally would recommend listening to the episode if you're interested in getting quality sleep. I'm just going through my notes from what I learned. A note on melatonin. He does not recommend supplementing melatonin at all unless advised by your doctor. In fact, he says it's crazy to him that melatonin is available over the counter because it's a hormone that our body produces naturally, and it's not regulated like other medications. It's I don't really know how it works, but any company can make melatonin. And there was a study he talked about where the amount of melatonin in one capsule can vary from some number to a really crazy different amount of melatonin in one capsule from pill to pill. So the amount of melatonin is never consistent. And that being said, he says there are just tons of different ways to improve your sleep health, rather than supplementing. But he does give some other recommendations for supplementing that are that have more natural, that aren't hormones. Anyway, things like magnesium something. I didn't take notes because I don't have plans to supplement. I get great sleep as it is when I follow these suggestions. So, but body temperature, I'm going to go back to body temperature. He talks about sleeping will cool our bodies down. It'll bring our body temperature down. So, and then as we are getting ready to wake up and our body's waking up, our temperature will start to rise. And going throughout the day, it continues to rise and rise. And then there's a point in the evening, probably closest to sunset, where our body temperature starts to decline. So when you talk about body temperature, he says some of the best things that you can do is to wake up and to feel awake, or to get ready to go to bed, is taking showers or baths in the right temperature. So if you take a if you take a warm shower in the morning time, your body temperature will have the warm shower will have a cooling effect on your body. You'll get into the warm shower, you'll come out, and your body temperature will cool down, and it throws a confusing signal to your body that will make you sleepy. What you want in the morning is to rise your body temperature. So he recommends waking up and taking cold showers to chill your body, and you come out and it will have a warming effect. It just makes you more awake and alert and ready to go throughout the rest of the day. And then the evening time, if you take another shower, if you shower twice a day, then take a warm shower or a warm bath or the sauna in the evening time, and when you exit the sauna, it will have a cooling effect on your body. It will help you fall asleep quicker and better, and it will help all of these processes in your body, in the chemical processes. Hey B Moon, I've never taken melatonin, but when I get some NyQuil in me, oh baby. What is it in NyQuil that helps people sleep? Is it the alcohol? Because from my little bit of looking at the bottles, the Dayquil and the NyQuil, all I can tell is there's just a little bit of alcohol in the NyQuil. Yeah. He doesn't recommend taking alcohol or having nightcaps to help to improve sleep. Says there's just it irritates the digestion, and then that will screw up your sleep patterns. So I don't know. He didn't talk much about that. Doxylamine is the main ingredient that causes sleepiness. Yeah, I don't know shit about that. So it's not the alcohol? Sweet. I'm going to move on. I'm glad that works for you. NyQuil has never made me sleepy. A lot of alcohol will make me sleepy, but then I get heartburn and I feel sick. So I don't like that. But yeah, I never had the drowsiness from NyQuil. Episode 4 is called Find Your Temperature Minimum to Defeat Jet Lag, Shift Work, and Sleeplessness. Find your temperature minimum to defeat jet lag, shift work, and sleeplessness. Yeah, alcohol has like 4%. Is like 4%. 8. What does that make it? 8 proof? Something like that. Really low dose of alcohol. Hey, B Moon. So I made a lot of notes about this one. This last episode was huge. The perfect circadian cycle. Watch the sun come over the horizon. Catch sunlight as it sets, and no sunlight after dark. After sunsets. Perfect light-dark cycle. Awesome. We were designed to be awake during the day and to sleep at night. Okay, so this is talking about shift work, and if you have kids and shit that keeps you up at night. He gives numbers. So 100,000 lux before 9 a.m. or as the sun rises is perfect. Sorry, I'm looking at Hey B Moon's messages. Look, NyQuil contains 10% alcohol, so more than 4. NyQuil's 20 proof, baby. Fuck yeah, that's like a solid. That's like a solid beer. So if you're listening to this and you do if you have night shifts, or if you have babies, things that keep you up at night, you can basically reverse your circadian rhythm to wake up as the sun is setting and to fall asleep as the sun is rising. Use those light patterns reverse. Our body doesn't he says our body doesn't necessarily recognize when the rising or the setting sun. It just recognizes that light coming in from that angle, something like that. So, and then he also talks about how you can adjust your, if you're going to be traveling across the globe and you're going to be there for an extended period of time and you want to prepare yourself for your sleeping habits, you can alter that by. The point is you can alter that by finding your temperature minimum, which is. Your temperature minimum isn't your body temperature. It is the lowest point of your lowest body temperature throughout the 24 cycle. And you find the lowest point is 1.5 hours before you wake up. Um, the point in every 24-hour cycle when your temperature is at its lowest. Your temperature falls at its lowest 90 minutes to 120 minutes before your average waking time. So if you average in a 1 week time frame, if you average waking up at 7 a.m., your temperature minimum is 5 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. So that so that's your temperature minimum. Hey Beeman, did you watch the sunrise this morning? I did, and I have been for the last. I did this for the last 7 days from Monday to today. I've watched the sunrise. It's been awesome. It's hard, but now I wake up at 6 o'clock. I see the sun. I'm watching the sunlight come over the mountains, and then I'm usually going to the gym or something. But I have my window down and I'm looking out at the sunrise towards the mountains. But then I notice towards the end of the day, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, when the sun is coming down, I get really sleepy, and I start to get really sleepy at 9 o'clock. I've been going to bed at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, which is earlier for me. I'm usually asleep around 11:30. So, and then I'm not as good about minimizing light after the sunset, but I have been turning on lamps that are low light red light lamps, and not having the overhead lights on as I'm going through the house in the evening time. Yeah, I feel like my sleep has improved really tremendously, and I'm not sleepy throughout the day. So, if you want to shift your sleep pattern, find your average wake up time, and your temperature minimum is 90 minutes to 120 minutes, 2 hours beforehand. So if you want to shift your internal clock, view bright light or exercise within 4 hours of your temperature minimum to make your temperature minimum earlier the next night. But it will also work the other way. Work out after 4 hours if you want to. So if your temperature minimum is, bear with me. I don't know how many people care about this, but if your temperature minimum is at 5 a.m. and you're going somewhere and you want to start waking up later to match that time, then start exercise. You want to exercise later in the day. You just want to just kind of adjust yourself to their time schedule. And you also, at the same time, you want to imitate light like you would be getting over there. So if you're going somewhere and it's going to be 6 hours ahead of schedule, ahead of your current local time, then you want to do everything 6 hours ahead of time. But again, the most important thing is to view bright light in the morning, in your hypothetical morning before you go, and then to view setting sunlight a couple hours before bedtime. You just want to imitate the schedule before you get there, pretty much. And then, it's an internal function. Literal time doesn't matter. Eating and exercising and viewing sunlight 4 to 6 hours before your temperature minimum will delay your clock. You want to eat on the clock of your location, or fast through meals. If you aren't hungry through their time of breakfast, you can fast or force yourself to eat, but getting your digestion on the same track as that place it just shifts all of your bodily functions to imitate that time. Again, he discourages melatonin, hot showers. So shift workers, the best thing for shift workers is to stay on the same schedule for at least 14 days. Swing shifts are the unhealthiest. I said setting shifts, but I meant swing shifts. When you go 4 days on one schedule and 4 days on another schedule, it's just and you can imagine how much it would screw up the balance in your sleep schedule. So, Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing. I mean, my girlfriend is night shifts. Uh, my buddy Hudge is gonna be doing night shifts. So if they if they wanted to optimize their sleep, they would do their best to stay on a consistent schedule uh, for at least 2 weeks, for 14 days. So yeah, he gives examples how to imitate a rising sun when it's 3 a.m. or when it's 10 p.m., right? When you're supposed to be waking up and you're supposed to be getting sunlight in your eyes. There's artificial lights that are pretty good at imitating a rising sun, and there are other things that do that imitate the setting sun. But the point is, the whole time you want to be awake, you need to be getting a lot of light in your eyes. And when you want to be asleep, you get no light in your eyes. So if you're going to be sleeping throughout the day, you want to get ready for bed with blackout blinders and no lights on anywhere. And you want a cool room, just comfortable temperature. Then you talk about your temperature. You can take cold showers when you're waking up and want to start to be awake, and take warm showers or warm baths when you're ready to go to sleep. You can adjust your body temperature and adjust the light that you receive to shift your internal clock for optimal sleep. Hey Moon says Haley's dad takes cold showers every morning, and his one hard thing to start the day, and he hasn't been sick in years. He thinks the showers are the main thing helping that. There are other benefits to cold showers too, not just to set your clock, but Rogan had Dr. Rhonda Patrick on his podcast I can't remember, maybe a year ago, I know her name is Dr. Rhonda Patrick, and she's an expert in some field and talks about the benefits of cold showers and ice baths and things like this that releases some kind of shock proteins in your body that are really good for you for whatever reason. I should go listen to that episode again. I remember it was really good. It was right towards the beginning of the pandemic, and they were making discoveries about how some large population of hospitalized COVID patients were vitamin D deficient, and a lot of healthier people were vitamin D sufficient. Biochemist Dr. Rhonda Patrick is a biochemist. Happy Moon always comes through when I need him. She has done extensive research on aging, cancer, and nutrition. Yeah, I think most of it was nutrition. The nutrition side of the COVID response. And they talk about cold showers and vitamin D. So I started supplementing vitamin D based on what they were discussing. I was taking 5,000 IUs of vitamin D, which is just it's like the max amount of vitamin D you should consume in a day, because most humans our bodies were designed to absorb vitamin D through our skin by being exposed to the sun, right? And now we live in buildings and we work in buildings and we don't get as near as much sunlight. So most humans are vitamin D deficient, and there was just some discovery about how most healthy people were vitamin D sufficient, and it was particularly the African American population are mostly vitamin D deficient because their skin had adjusted to receive less sunlight because of the areas that they lived in, and white people are designed to absorb more sunlight because of the places that they lived in. Anyway, Dr. Rhonda Patrick, that was a great episode, but she talks about cold showers too. I'm sure there's a lot of other health benefits from cold showers and warm showers at the appropriate times. I don't do cold showers. I've tried to do cold showers. But I mostly shower in the evening time. So that's my excuse why I don't do cold showers. I could do cold showers right when I wake up to get ready for the day, but I don't. I haven't. Maybe I could challenge myself to do that though. A little bit more on sleep. He talks about habits with if you have kids, with the inconsistent schedules that kids bring, newborns, infants, and then just young children. Oh yes, I'm gonna kill this. Oh, it turns into ASMR for a little bit. If you have kids, be familiar with. Uh, there's a sleep resting strategy he calls NSDR, non-sleep deep rest, which has tons of benefits. If you can't get quality sleep or extensive amount of sleep, it's basically meditating, non-sleep deep rest. His favorite form of that is called yoga nidra. I've not looked into it. I don't know anything about it, but it's the intent. Your intentions are to bring your mind and your body into deep rest if you can't fall asleep. And he says he does this when he wakes up in the middle of the night and can't fall back asleep. He will go through these routines of yoga nidra and will either help him fall back asleep or will just allow his body to rest, and then he feels better throughout the day. He also does it throughout the day. If he feels tired, he doesn't really talk about naps, or at least I didn't make notes about naps. I don't like naps because I want to operate through the entire day. I would rather sleep more at night so I don't have to sleep during the day and take naps. But if you have kids and you're awake a lot throughout the nighttime, naps are really good. This non-sleep deep rest is really good. Capture 45 minutes of sleep sessions while your child sleeps in as many phases as possible. Just mirror your baby's sleep cycle. Sleep while your baby's asleep. Yeah, he says the best forms of short bursts of sleep is sticking to your to ultradian cycles, which are it's something to do with the process of falling asleep, staying asleep, and then going into REM sleep and non-REM sleep, these forms of deep sleep and not deep sleep. And these happen every 90 minutes while you're asleep. So he says the best kind of naps you can take are within these 90-minute bursts. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I don't have kids, but some of you do. And I might have kids one day, so it's good to know. That's how you get good sleep. And then just like I read from Irresistible, the cell phone book, or not necessarily the cell phone book, but the behavioral addiction book about talked about social media and cell phone problems. I read that list of symptoms from chronic sleep deprivation. I mean, just knowing that chronic sleep deprivation causes a whole bunch of maladies. Besides just not feeling well, it can lead to a whole bunch of long-term issues. Just knowing that makes me want to get more sleep and better sleep. It makes me not want to go out on the weekends or stay up late playing video games. Just knowing that staying up late will fuck with me for the long term. So I like learning, and really I think that section from that book is what interested me in getting into or listening to these podcasts about sleep. So there you have it. The most critical thing about getting quality sleep is sticking to a consistent schedule, waking up with the sun, getting a lot of sunlight in the daytime, seeing the sun set, and getting no light in your eyes before bed. He does not talk about how much sleep you should be getting, how many hours. Just like I said earlier, everyone can operate off of different amount of sleep, but if you want to experience quality sleep, better quality sleep, and this and that, that's the schedule. So, 47 minutes in, and that was all about sleep. I'm glad it was all about sleep. I have more content from other things. Like I said, I want to go through it all. Because I have other things this week I want to listen to and share. So maybe I'll do another podcast later this week, so I can get caught up. Because 1 hour podcast a week doesn't seem to be enough if I want to share everything that I'm learning, and I don't want to go throughout my week and not be studying something. I'm still on a study high, so it's really fun for me, and it's really good. Yeah, there's just too much in all of these. I mean, I made a ton of notes on the compound effect, and the book is in the fucking mailbox. So, Rich Dad Poor Dad, if you want to just how to establish wealth, how to use your money and spend your money, how to make money, yeah, how to be financially free. God damn, if there's anything I want, it's to be financially free. I don't want to be rich. I just want to be relieved of financial burden. I don't want to be strapped by cash and by bills. I want to be strapped with cash, not strapped with bills. I don't want to worry about my bills or have to go to a job every day to pay my bills. I want the premise of Rich Dad Poor Dad is to make money work for you. Instead of working for money, make money work for you. Money is the best employee because it doesn't bitch and it works 24/7. And it's the greatest unifier of human history. And we learned that from Sapiens. Everyone wants money or loves money. Everyone that values it anyway, that agrees that it has value. So, because money's not real. That's part of the book. Money's not even real. So learn how to use this thing that we have ingrained into our society, to use it to work for us instead of slaving your life away. Some people like to work every day, and they like to go do laborious jobs. I want freedom from the labor. I don't want to do less labor. I don't want to be strapped to the labor. If I had the chance to not go clean carpets today, if I had projects or if I had kids that I wanted to take care of or to go do things with my kids or other projects I wanted to work on, if I wanted to spend some time editing this podcast today, but I can't because I have to go clean carpets. Just want to be free of all of that. It's not like I want to be lazy. I want to work really hard to be free from everything else. So, retire early, have a family if I wanted, travel the world, do some projects, charities, whatever. It's all possible. That's the thing. It's possible to do it, and he lays out the blueprint really to be financially free. That'll be a fun one to talk about. So that's it. I'm gonna end it today at 50 minutes. So maybe keep an eye out for on my Instagram or my Twitter. I might say something about doing another podcast later this week, and if I did, it could very well be Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Not tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to be making a TikTok for my other podcasts because I did that last week and it was fun. So I'm going to do it again, and I want to just make more content. I like to make this kind of content. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. So if you showed up today, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you for listening to this later on if you listen to it later on. Don't forget the concert in 3 weeks, August 21st. If you need your carpets cleaned, then you can message me. I'll be glad to come help you out. Or if you have if your basement flooded from all this water, that's it. Have a great week. Go do something challenging this week. Go challenge yourself, push yourself, do something hard, and you'll be on your way to accomplishing goals. The compound effect is all about goal setting And I know I talked about goals and how we shouldn't set goals and we should live our life by a set of systems. But I think goals help us get to a place where we're not killing ourselves to achieve goals, or we're not sacrificing our health for goals, but it will help us achieve parts of our life that we want to accomplish, things in our life. And it will, just like financial freedom, it will give us physical freedom, mental freedom. You just get a type of mental toughness, so that going to the gym isn't a goal, it's just your lifestyle. You love to go to the gym, and studying isn't. Anyway, that's it. So go do something difficult, challenge yourself, and you won't regret it. Thanks for showing up, you guys. Have a good week. See you soon. Love you guys.
しているだけがで読み直しているで読み直している